Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks! What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another interesting knife review / knife overview to show you guys. This is the Remette RT Camel. This is a very straightforward knife that is not unlike a lot of other pocket knives that we have seen in the budget knife world, but this is not a regular button lock. It's a button operated liner lock. It's also made very well. Remette does great fit and finish, D2 and G10, and comes in at $37, making it ridiculously competitive. It's not quite in that ultra budget territory that's right at $30 or less, but still insanely competitive, especially considering the 2026 knife market. This is stuff that I'd love to see more of. It's nice to see Remette competing in this general territory. And yeah, I mean, spoiler alert, this is going to be a generally recommendable knife. It's one of those knives that's just like a perfect beater. It's a perfect gift for somebody. Your first, good pocket knife. You're trying to find a good place to kind of start off in the knife world. This is a great example of one of those knives. So I'll have it linked down in the description. You guys can check it out if you want. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's entirely up to you. Thanks to Remette for sending it in. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. Let's go ahead and get a measurement here. The RT Camel. I think this is an RT Camel. So most of them they say RT, right? But anyways, 7.35 inches overall. Blade length is coming in at 3 1/4. Cutting edge is coming in at 2.75. We'll do just a couple of size comparisons here. Any custom scales you find in this section can be found down in the description under Original Goat and others. Up against the Para 3 and my own compact Excalibur, you can see that this is the general size territory that we're in. Is there another good one? Maybe let's do the Hogue Deca, and we'll also do the Benchmade Bug Out. Not typical to do that one, but I think a pretty good idea here. How is the action? This is a button-operated liner lock, not a plunge lock. Not all button locks are the same, if you find yourself asking that question. No, button locks, typically the ones that people... It's not necessarily that you need to avoid them. It's that plunge locks are not as reliable as a liner lock with good lock face geometry. Obviously, a plunge lock also relies on good geometry, and there are good and bad button locks. But as far as me in particular, I have over 6,000 uploads on this channel, so I have a lot of knife content. I have handled a lot of liner locks and button locks, and I can tell you the ones that fail more often from stuff like this, it's just the regular plunge lock, right? This is a liner lock. Remette knows how to do, proper lock face geometry, and it feels like it's got pretty good, lock bar tension in there. So yeah, that's why I always say that the button-operated liner lock feels a little bit better. It also feels better on deployment because it has an actual detent ball. So whether you are flipping it or you're using the little thumb slot there to flick it out or reverse flick it, it just feels better all the way around. Plus, with the ability to disengage the lock, you can disengage it like a regular liner lock under here if you want to, but the ability to disengage it with the button means that your fingers are not in the way, which is just better. So, I mean, it's better than a standard liner lock, I guess. Let's go ahead and do carry profile. Thickness up against the Spyderco Para 3. It is about exactly the same. Length and height up against the PM2 and the Para 3. You can see here that this is not a very big knife. This is a very compact knife that's going to be easily carried in a number of different environments and scenarios. Let's go ahead and measure the blade stock thickness here. We are coming in at probably 125 would be my guess. No, thinner, 116 thousandths. We'll go ahead and do a hardware check. I'll get out my tools. As per usual, my tools are very inexpensive and very recommendable. You can find them right down in the section of my description that talks about the tools I use on this channel. So your pivot is going to come in at T8, might be a T8 plus. Same with the body screws. Pocket clip screws are actually also T8. That's nice. Everything here appears to be a T8. Do I have the T8 in here? I was going to say the stupid T7. I was like, why does that feel? So I must have had these back. That's why I have these back. I gotta get organized. Oh my gosh, it's probably more so to do with my declining vision. I am putting off getting glasses, and it is time. I thought I could make it to 40. I think maybe the end of my, being 38, I think is about as far as I've made it. My hair lasted longer than my vision. Anyways, who cares? Sorry. We've done the hardware check. We have we? Oh, I don't think that we've actually weighed it. So we're looking at D2 here. With I don't think anything special for the coating. I think it's just like maybe a PVD process coating, but nothing incredibly special here. G10, and then their HRC range for D2, I believe is 59 to 61. Personally, I would prefer to see it at 60 plus, 60 bare minimum. I don't know if Taylor has any HRC hardness data on Remette. If not, then Remette, it would be cool if you guys reached out to Taylor and offered up some samples so that he could do some testing, so that we could share that data with the community. You can find the link for Steel Hardness Lab at the very bottom of my description. It is the last clickable link. 4 ounces, so fairly good ratios there. We have a 3.3 inch blade, 4 ounces of weight, not bad, with the balance kind of right there in between. So, anyways, meat and potatoes time. This is a blade and handle profile that we have seen many, many times. It is a good ergonomic design. There's a nice little choke up spot. We have a nice, I'm going to call this a sheep's foot style blade. Nice jimping. It's basically that one of the quintessential EDC shapes and sizes that we see. You can get a full grip on it. The choke up grip is nice. And honestly, in both grips, as a right-handed person, I'm not finding that there's a natural place for me to accidentally put my hand on that button or my finger. So I don't feel like as a right-handed person, it's going to be very easy to accidentally disengage. As a left-handed person, you can flip the pocket clip over, squeezing it in a standard hammer grip, you're fine. Choking up and squeezing it, you might accidentally disengage it. So just keep that in mind. But other than that, no, I think you're going to be fine. The cutting geometry is nice. We have a nice kind of medium thickness geometry now down here behind the edge. It will cut, it'll slice, it'll do all that stuff. You can see here that it's actually pretty. It gets a little thinner than I'm kind of advertising here. This is pretty nice. My cutting experience with this is largely the same as, I feel like that this is one of the most common. A lot of companies have figured out this equation. And a lot of them are making like the exact same type of behind the edge geometry and the same few. It's been that way for a long time, right? But this has proven to be a good blade shape, behind the edge thickness, enough to be stable, right? But thin enough to slice. D2, they're clearly going with the safe zone of 59 to 61, but good enough as long as they're actually hitting that number. And the blade length is also great with the tip pointed down, nice for draw cuts. So slicing, poking, cutting, typical EDC style tasks. This is going to accomplish that very, very easily. Kind of an odd blue pivot color on the green here. I do like the green. It looks good. There's a few different options. I think 4 different scale options. I don't know if they all have blue pivot colors, but I always think that like silver is a safe bet. And then you can use blue if it's like an appropriately contrasting color. Like maybe the tan, it would look better. I suppose what I'm saying is a little subjective there, but I don't know. I do like how we have the flat here and the bevel, and they still keep some material there to surround the screw. I think that looks really nice. We have a filler tab here for the pocket clip. We have a pocket clip that is almost identical to Civivi's Loch Ness Monster clip, except they do not run that bill up and over. They just run it up, which is better in my opinion. You have a lanyard bar right here, which is fine. It's completely out of the way. Pocket clip retention is medium. By the way, the pocket clip is not a hot spot, at least not to me. I think it's the appropriate length as well. Very good. You have plenty of access to the opening hole, whether you're in the front or the back. I just realized what I was saying, sorry. It says D2 steel back here, so no other markings except for on the pivot. Your stop pin is located here, so normal spot. Your closed position stop pin is down here, and you can see it going underneath the flipper tab, which means it's nowhere near the plunge grind, which is great. Lockup, completely and totally solid. No lock stick. There is no pivot lash. It's very smooth and consistent in here. And it has a really nice clicky detent with perfect centering. Very straightforward and simple review. This is a highly recommendable knife. At $37, it is an absurd value. There are knives out there, that get less expensive, but a button-operated liner lock, yeah, it's not a button-operated top liner lock. That would have been cool, but honestly, this combination of things, this just makes this a super great EDC knife with an exceptional price tag. Even if they are hitting the HRC slightly low at 59 to 61, right? It's fine. It would be nice if they hit it a little higher, but I think this is great. This is a ridiculously recommendable product. It's probably one of the better options for budget knives out there on the market right now. So if you get an opportunity to pick this up, no matter who you are, I think this is a good one. It'll go in my cheap knives I like playlist because it's under 75, and it's also going to go in my recommended knives playlist because generally I'm going to recommend this to pretty much everybody. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do of course have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.